I took my brother's calls every time he screwed up, after breakups, drunk at bars, even once from a jail cell. One day I called him after my panic attack. He sent me a meme that said, "Not everything is about you." I told my mom. She said, "You are intense sometimes." I didn't call anymore. A year later, he texted me at 2 a.m., "I messed up bad. Please don't ignore me like I ignored you. I don't know what kind of person you're supposed to be for your family. I only know what kind I was told to be." For me, that meant showing up. Being dependable. Taking calls at all hours. Fixing things when other people screwed them up. Carrying the weight no one else wanted to deal with. My name's Megan. I'm 36. I live in Kansas City now, but I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My younger brother Derek is 32. We were 4 years apart but raised like we were twins. We shared a room till I turned 13. We went to the same schools. We fought like siblings do, but I was always his backup. He got into fights, I patched them up. He failed a test, I helped him study. He got dumped, I listened. And later, when we were adults? When things got worse? I still answered every call. I still showed up. The first time he called me from a bar, he was 22. Drunk out of his mind. He could barely talk. I had to listen carefully to even figure out which bar he was at. When I got there, he was outside, slumped over, shoes missing. He didn't even thank me. Just said, "You're the best," and passed out in the passenger seat. I cleaned vomit off my car seat at 3 a.m. When he got into that mess with his ex, the one who cheated on him and keyed his car, he called me sobbing. I drove 2 hours back to Tulsa to sit with him for a weekend while he moped on the couch, not eating, not talking. I cooked. I cleaned. I kept him company. When he got arrested at 28, bar fight, again, he didn't call our parents. He called me. I paid his bail with a credit card. I told myself it was temporary, that he just needed help getting his life together. And he always came to me. Not our parents. Not our cousins. Me. Even when he got sober for a short while, I was the one who dragged him to AA meetings. I'd wait in the car with coffee and a granola bar. He told me once, "You're the only one who gets me." I used to believe that meant something. Last year, it was a Thursday. Late March. I was driving home from work. Nothing big had happened that day, but I was exhausted. More tired than usual. And then my chest started to feel tight. At first, I thought it was just stress. But it got worse. My vision blurred. I couldn't breathe. My heart was pounding. It felt like I was dying. I pulled into a CVS parking lot and sat there gripping the wheel, shaking. Then I did what I'd trained myself to do my whole life. I called Derek. 1 ring. 2 rings. Voicemail. I called again. Straight to voicemail. Then he texted me. I remember the way the screen lit up. It felt like a lifeline. But it wasn't. It was a meme. Some dumb cartoon face with the words, "Not everything is about you." I stared at it for a long time. I thought maybe he sent it by mistake. So I replied, "Derek, I'm not okay. Please." No answer. I sat in that car alone for almost an hour. Eventually the panic faded enough that I could drive home. But something else stayed. This cold, heavy feeling in my chest. I'd always been there for him. And the one time, the one F asterisk asterisk ing time asterisk, I really needed him? He turned it into a joke. I cried that night. I don't cry often, but that night I cried until I felt empty. The next day, I told our mom. I was still shaken up, still trying to understand how someone I'd always protected could do that to me. You know what she said? She didn't ask if I was okay. She didn't say she'd talk to him. She just sighed and said, "You are intense sometimes. Like I was the problem. Like I was making a big deal out of nothing. It was quiet for a few seconds after that. Then I hung up. And I didn't call again. I stopped answering Derek's messages. I didn't text him on his birthday. When he posted about new beginnings on Facebook, I didn't like it. I didn't comment. When Christmas came, I didn't show up. I mailed my mom a card and nothing else. And you know what? No one noticed. Or maybe they did and just didn't say anything. That was almost a full year ago. I didn't forget. I didn't move on. I just got quiet. Then, 2 weeks ago, I woke up to my phone buzzing on the nightstand. It was 2:08 a.m. A text from Derek. I messed up bad. Please don't ignore me like I ignored you. I read it twice. Then again. I sat up in bed, staring at the screen. My heart started pounding again, but not like before. It wasn't panic. It was anger. Cold, clear anger. All those nights I saved him. All those times I picked up the pieces for him, no matter what. And the one night I couldn't breathe, he sent me a meme. Now he needed something. Something big. I could feel it. I didn't reply. Not that night. Not the next day. I just let it sit there. And I knew something was coming. Because Derek never says he messed up bad unless it's really bad. But I wasn't the person he could call anymore. I stopped being that person the day he decided my panic attack was a joke. The next day, I didn't go to work. I called out sick, stayed in bed, and stared at that message over and over. Please don't ignore me like I ignored you. At first, it almost worked. Guilt tried to creep in. That old voice in my head that said, "You're the strong one. You're supposed to help." But I forced myself to stay still. To not do what I always do, rush in, save him, and get tossed aside again. I didn't respond. By noon, he sent another message. Megan, please. It's not just about me this time. I need to talk to you. It's serious. Still, I said nothing. 3 hours later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Tulsa area code. I let it ring. Then came another text. It's about Mom. That one hit me like a punch in the stomach. I called the number back, heart racing. Some woman answered. Her name was Lisa. Said she was our mom's neighbor. She had a fall, Lisa said. Derek's here now. She didn't want to go to the hospital, but she's not looking good. We tried calling you earlier, but... I didn't say anything. I was already grabbing my keys. I drove straight to Tulsa. 3.5 hours. No stops. The entire time I was going over everything in my head. Trying to figure out if this was real, or if Derek was playing me somehow. But when I got there, I knew it wasn't a trick. Our mom was in her recliner, bruised and pale. She'd fallen trying to carry groceries inside. Derek was pacing in the kitchen, looking like hell. He looked thinner. Eyes sunken. Hair overgrown. He looked like someone who hadn't slept right in weeks. When he saw me, he froze. Megan, he said. I didn't answer. He stepped forward like he was going to hug me. I raised a hand. Don't, I said. He stopped. I knelt next to Mom and checked her over. I asked her a few questions. She was alert but clearly in pain. I called an ambulance myself and told them she was going whether she liked it or not. Derek sat on the couch while we waited, quiet. After they took her, we sat in that empty living room with the TV on low, both of us pretending not to watch each other. Finally, he spoke. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't know it was that serious. When you called me, I thought, he trailed off. You thought what? I asked. He swallowed hard. I thought you were being dramatic. I laughed. One hard, ugly sound. He looked at me, eyes red. If asterisk 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 get up, Megan. I know. I know I did. Yeah, I said. You did. Then he broke. Started crying. Like really crying. Not loud, not fake. Just sitting there, hunched over, silent tears dripping down his face. And that's when I realized something was really wrong. Because Derek never cries. Not like that. What did you mean when you said it's not just about you this time? I asked. He didn't look at me. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded paper. Read it, he said, voice cracking. I took the paper and unfolded it. It was a court summons. DUI. Third offense. License suspended. Facing possible jail time. Date, next month. But that's not even the worst part, he said. They're charging me because I hit someone. I stared at him. My stomach turned cold. It was late, he whispered. I thought I was okay to drive. I wasn't even going that fast. I didn't see her. She stepped out into the crosswalk and, Jesus, Derek. She's alive, he said quickly. She's in the hospital. Broken arm, maybe a concussion. But she's okay. Doesn't matter. He nodded. I know. We sat in silence for a while. I don't know what to do, he said. And there it was. The reason he'd reached out. The reason he said, please don't ignore me like I ignored you. He didn't come to apologize. He came because he was scared. Because he knew I was the only person who'd ever helped him without hesitation. He thought I'd do it again. But I wasn't that person anymore. Not after what he did to me. Not after what he did to that woman. Not after what he did to Mom. Leaving her alone like that. Something inside me hardened. I wasn't sure what I was going to do next. But it was going to be different this time. After Mom was taken to the hospital, I told Derek I'd follow behind the ambulance and meet them there. I didn't ask if he wanted to ride with me. I didn't even look at him. Once I got in the car, I didn't go straight to the hospital. I pulled over 2 blocks away, parked near a gas station, and sat in silence. My hands were shaking on the wheel. I stared at the court summons again. It wasn't just DUI and hitting a pedestrian. There was a second page. Failure to appear in court, prior warrant issued. My brother had been dodging court. Hiding. Probably using. Definitely lying. I knew what would happen if he got jail time. He'd come crying to me, begging me to fix it. He'd probably try to convince Mom to put her house up as collateral. He'd lie, promise he was clean, and suck her into the mess like always. I thought about the woman he hit. How she'd been crossing the street, probably just going home. How close she came to dying because my brother thought he was fine. No. This wasn't just a screw-up. This was who he was now. So I called someone I hadn't spoken to in over a year. Her name was Tasha. She was Derek's ex. She was also the one he cheated on, screamed at, and left with unpaid rent. When she picked up, she sounded surprised. Megan? I need to ask you something, I said. She was quiet for a moment. Then, go ahead. Was Derek using again before you two broke up? Another pause. Then she said, yes. Cocaine. Pills. He'd lie to my face. He even stole from me. My grandma's necklace. Thank you. Before she hung up, she added something that stuck with me. He's only ever sorry when he gets caught. At the hospital, Mom was in a room hooked to fluids and getting her hip x-rayed. I stayed by her side until she was settled. Derek came late, looking worn and twitchy. He had the fake concerned face on. The one he used when he wanted to seem like he was in control. Mom smiled weakly when she saw him. Both my babies, she whispered. You always come through. I stepped out into the hallway and made a call. This time, to a lawyer. A family friend named Denise. She owed me a favor. I didn't want to get Derek locked up. Not just to hurt him. But I wanted to make sure he didn't talk his way out again. Not this time. I told her everything. The court date. The crash. The drugs. The missed hearing. She said, you know, if the judge hears he was using and he fled, it won't go well for him. I know, I said. Then I added, he's staying at Mom's house right now. He probably thinks no one knows he's there. Denise didn't ask what I wanted her to do. She just said, you want him held accountable? I said, yeah. Fully. I didn't warn him. I went home to Kansas City the next day. Didn't answer Derek's texts. Ignored his voicemail asking if I could help find a lawyer. A week later, I got the news. He'd been picked up. At Mom's house. Early in the morning. Apparently he'd thrown a fit. Screamed at the officers. Swore he was being set up. Said he was trying to get better. The court denied bail. That same afternoon, Mom called me crying. What did you do? She asked. I didn't do anything, I said. He did this to himself. You told someone. Yeah, I said. I did. You shouldn't have gotten involved. That hurt more than I expected. But not as much as her next words. You always have to be the hero. I hung up. I sat on the floor of my apartment and stared at the wall for a long time. She still didn't see it. Even now. She thought I was intense. Controlling. Overreacting. She didn't see the years I spent cleaning up the mess. The nights I didn't sleep because of Derek. The way I begged him to get help while she looked the other way. She saw me as the problem. Still. That's when I made a choice. I wasn't done yet. Not even close. 2 weeks after Derek was taken into custody, I got a letter in the mail. Not an email. Not a text. A physical letter. Handwritten, addressed in his sloppy all-caps style. Return address, Tulsa County Jail. I almost threw it out. But something made me open it. Inside was a 3-page apology. Or what he thought was one. He started by saying he'd hit rock bottom. That he finally got it now. That this was a wake-up call. The same words he'd used when he got out of rehab 6 years ago. The same words after he stole our uncle's credit card. After he bailed on community service. After he ghosted Tasha. Same script. Different jail cell. But there was something new near the end. He wrote, I talked to Mom. She said you set me up. That you called the lawyer and helped get me arrested. If that's true. I don't even know who you are anymore. And just like that, I realized what this really was. He wasn't sorry. He was blaming me. I put the letter down and didn't finish reading. A few days later, I got a call from my Aunt Janice. She rarely called. Only when something big happened. Your mother's upset, she said. I'm sure. She says you turned your back on Derek. That you're letting him rot in jail. I laughed. He hit a pedestrian. He had warrants. He lied to her and to me. What exactly was I supposed to do? I'm not saying you're wrong, she said, cautiously. But she's saying you're dangerous now. That stopped me cold. Dangerous? She says you've always been controlling. That you twist things. That you turned Derek against the family. That maybe you need help. I sat there with the phone pressed against my ear, not speaking. She kept talking. I'm not saying I believe her. But Megan, people are starting to. I hung up. That night, I drove to Tulsa again. But not to see Derek. And not to see Mom. I went to the woman he hit. I found her through court records. Her name was Rachel. She lived in a small rental near Cherry Street. When I showed up and introduced myself, she didn't slam the door. She let me sit on her porch and talk. I told her I was Derek's sister. That I wasn't here to defend him. I'm here because I believe you, I said. She looked surprised. Then she told me everything. Derek had been high. He didn't even brake. She'd seen the car coming and had no chance to move. She shattered her wrist and dislocated her shoulder. She couldn't work now. Her job was gone. No insurance. Derek never apologized. Never checked on her. Never even asked if she survived. And then she pulled out her phone and showed me something I didn't expect. A voicemail. Derek, slurring his words. He'd called her 2 nights after the accident from some burner phone. He said, "You got in my way. You ***** ed up my life. I should sue you." My blood ran cold. Rachel looked at me. He sounded like he wanted to scare me. Like I should just shut up. I asked her if she still had the recording. She nodded. Would you be willing to give it to a lawyer? Her answer, gladly. Back in Kansas City, I sent the voicemail to Denise. When she heard it, she said, "This changes everything." We started preparing a statement. A formal letter from Rachel. The voicemail would be submitted as evidence of intimidation and lack of remorse. The judge had already been leaning towards sentencing Derek to rehab and probation. Now? There was a real shot at prison time. And I was the reason why. The sister. The fixer. The one who always answered the call. Now the one who made sure no one else got hurt. 2 months later, the hearing came. I didn't go in person. I watched it online, sitting alone in my apartment with a legal pad on my lap, not because I needed to take notes, but because I couldn't sit still. Derek walked in wearing a wrinkled county jumpsuit and shackles. His hair was shaved short. He looked smaller. Angry. Cornered. When the judge asked if there was anything he'd like to say, Derek stood up and launched into a speech I'd heard a dozen versions of before. He blamed his drinking. He blamed stress. He blamed the pressure of being the only son. He blamed Rachel for stepping out at the wrong time. He said he was ready to get help, if the court would just give him a chance. He never mentioned me by name. But when he said, "There are people I thought I could trust who used this as a chance to punish me," I knew exactly who he meant. The judge didn't buy it. He read out loud parts of the voicemail Derek had left Rachel. He called it vile, threatening, and deeply disturbing. He said it showed a total lack of remorse. Then he sentenced Derek to 3 years in prison. No rehab. No probation. 3 years. I thought I'd feel relief. But what I felt was heavier. Like I'd finally dropped a weight I'd carried for years, but my arms were still sore from holding it. I didn't call our mom. But she called me, 3 days after the hearing. "You really did it," she said, her voice hollow. "I didn't do it." "He did. You set your brother up to go to prison." "No," I said. "I just stopped saving him." There was silence on the line. Then she said something I'll never forget. "I should have never let you raise him." That hit harder than anything Derek ever said. I hung up and blocked her number. It's been a year now. Derek's still in prison. No one visits him. Not even Mom. Last I heard, she's living alone, doesn't talk to much of the family anymore. Rachel filed a civil suit. She's getting help from a local support fund. I gave a statement for her lawyer. I never replied to the second letter Derek sent me. I keep it sealed in a drawer with the first one. I don't know if I'll ever read it. People think revenge is loud. Fire and shouting and slammed doors. But mine was quiet. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I just stopped. Stopped picking up the phone. Stopped showing up. Stopped being the one to fix everything. I let the truth do what it always wanted to do. And it did what I never could, it made them face who they really were. And me? I'm not innocent either. I let it go too long. I kept the lie alive for years, pretending if I just loved them hard enough, they'd change. But love doesn't fix people. Truth does. And sometimes, the truth leaves scars.